Welcome back to Suzuki Build.
So, as it's bath night, yes, it's second Wednesday of the month. First things first, I have found a great supplier on Amazon actually of bushings for shock absorbers. Yes, in every shape and size you can possibly imagine. So, we know that's 16mm. I've forgotten what the inner measurement was now. And here it is, every possible size you could want, except for 12 by 16 by whatever. So that's a bummer, but I'm thinking 12.2 by 15.7. I don't know. And then it's not very long either, is it? By 15.7. Perfect. So I'm going to need 2 lots of them. So that's half the price of the shock absorber just for a bloody bearing. So as it's bath night, yes, it's second Wednesday of the month. Whether I need it or not, I thought I'd do something grubby, so I'm going to be doing the tank. Yeah. Let's sand it down. Except before we do that, let's fill it up. Yes, we're going to fill these seams around the badge holder, and we're going to fill those holes there. Way too much hardener as per normal, so by the time I got around to this side it was starting to set already. Yeah, so that's not very pretty, but that was sand down. The other side a little bit better, but some big gaps, so I guess we'll be refilling that. And the top where I started, lovely jubbly, so good. Yes, what a mess. Anyway, it's gonna need a second filling because it is. So I think what I'll do is wait for that to harden, sand it down, commit to it, and fill the holes as well, because I'd left them just in case I was going to put the badge back on, but I don't think I am. So I've been doing a little private survey with 2 of my most ardent viewers, and we have a tie on which colour the seat is going to be. One likes black, one likes red, and so I have the casting vote, so it's irrelevant asking anyone, and it's going to be red. So I've ordered some red alcantara. And in the meantime, we've got to work out, I think I'm going to try and tackle this on my own. The only bit that worries me is that bit. And then I've got to work out what's going on at the front here. So originally I drew this line, thinking, yeah, you know, end of the metal, up there, da, da, da. But of course, underneath, it's kind of a different story. Because what you don't want is that. Yeah, that curve there. It'll be impossible to cover. Right, a little pointy bit, yeah, ridiculous. So what you want to do is come further back, so you still want that line, and then you want to curve it out at the bottom edge, like I've drawn there, so that the straight line meets the straight line. But actually there will be a gap of metal and that weird kind of shape there. Here. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. So maybe I'll cut the seat, or maybe I'll start tidying this up. I should probably do that first, shouldn't I? Okay, we're getting there. I think this checker plate underneath is going to need chopping out because it's just horrible. I don't know if I can... I don't want to get it all out. It's obviously in there to give some strength, but I think I'd chop these corners off and split them out because there's a gap. Yeah, we can do that. So yeah, tidied up the curve here a little, just needs a little finishing, and yeah, tidied up the cut a little, gonna finish that as well. Just bits of metal everywhere, and tidied up the back end somewhat as well. So, stage 2, I guess. And again, a load of nasty, rough shit on the inside, which we will deal with. Wonder what we can put in there. We could put an ECU in there if we had one, but we haven't, so it doesn't matter. Perhaps we could put our sandwiches in there. Just a shadow of the woman she used to be, whoever she used to be. All right, we're nearly done. Nearly done. We're through the bare metal, which actually looks lovely. Yes, and over here I think it started a little prematurely. I think despite the massive amount of hardener, it's still kind of setting, so I'm going to leave that for now and come back to that when my arms stopped aching. We're returning to this. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to cut this. If you remember rightly, if you watched it even, the Ducati Monster was good old-fashioned foam, so I used a bread knife, which worked perfectly. Yes, I really did. And I don't think that's going to work with this, but I'm going to give it a go, just on a corner, because I'm not going to use that cut off for anything, I promise. Well, so the other question is, given that we're probably going for the gunmetal paint job, do we drill some holes in the side, ever decreasing holes? I kind of like the idea. It would look a bit like this, and yeah, but what would it reveal? Well, probably not a lot, honestly. Just the frame, which is in reasonable nick. I mean, obviously it needs a bit of paint there, but otherwise, yep. Or we could put some mesh behind it. That would look kind of cool. Yes, I think I like that idea. And I have just the tools for the job. Or of course the old step drill, that'll work as well. Yeah, I think I might do that. Bearing in mind, as I think I've said before, I consider this seat a freebie because it came with a Honda. So yeah, you might do that. Well, I didn't even bother mocking it up on Photoshop. I just went ahead and did it. Yeah, so I think there's room for one more. Yeah, you get the idea. See where I'm coming from? I think that hole needs to be bigger. So while I had the sandpaper out, I gave this just an initial rub down, and it really is. And discovered some horrible gouges and God knows what. I mean, just all of it. Lumpy paint, oh, horrible. So more sanding required, and then probably a little dusting of some kind of primer, just to see what's what. I mean, yeah, it's just, look at it, horrible, 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 horrible. And that's why I thought this seat was horrible to start with, but actually it's not the seat's fault. The seat is actually not bad, it's just the way it's been done. While we're drilling holes, and I was tempted to drill holes in these, but there's not a lot of scope because there's a whole bracket behind it. But I am thinking I might drill some holes further back to mount the lights further back, because they protrude out of the protrusion, and perhaps they shouldn't, because we could easily put them like almost 2 inches back. Okay, kind of sanded that down enough to do another batch of filler, including the other side, which was horrible because it had all hardened and gone nasty, and I haven't done that bit yet, but yeah, that needs some serious sanding, but not much filling, I think. So a little bit more filler and less hard. Try and give myself more than 2 minutes max to do the job. Yeah. Okay, round 2, and did that little nick at the top as well, so we'll let that set, and then we'll finish the sanding, including this bit. Yeah, there's a big chunk there that needs to come out. Yeah, so we're pretty smooth here, smooth enough for primer. Yeah, so we're all good to go. Exciting. And yes, so I contacted the guy that sorted out the what was it, Screaming Yellow, Ford Screaming Yellow or something that I did on the Yamaha. Anyway, we're going for a Kia Titanium for the Suzuki. Very sexy. Yes, R1, we're going for a Kia colour. That's the closest I'll ever get to owning a Kia, I promise you. Well, that's strange. I was just going to plug this in to the brake light, because that's what I've got it down as, B for brake, because that's what used to operate that other light. And now, as soon as I turn the ignition on, we have a rear light, we have a running light. and the brake pedal doesn't make any difference to it at all. I was just going to show you what I might be doing with the back light. Brake light makes no difference whatsoever. What the hell? Alright, anyway, so one way or another, I'll come back to that later. I'm thinking that'll sit about there, and that will be the running light, and that's all you'll see. Yeah, cool. So now I need to work out how to mount it, which is probably very easy. A simple strap across the frame, bolted into there. So that's the job done, isn't it? That's God, I love this Suzuki. This one was destined for the R6, but seeing as I haven't got the seat back from Derek yet, ooh, there's a recurring nightmare. It may well end up on the Suzuki. Talking of the R6, we have good news. Yes, Chris, the new motorcycle elf, has successfully got the studs out. So here's the irony about that. He didn't actually get them out himself. He took it to a shop, the shop where Derek used to work, and that guy got them out. What would be really neat is if I could mount it to that, and I'm thinking, you know, my bit of my aluminium shower door thing bracket would bolt onto there nicely and produce the perfect slot for this to fit in, but it would just be a little bit too far back unless we went for a bigger piece. But I've got 5 of these, I want to use them up, so I don't know. On the Honda, however, that's going to fit nicely into that part of the frame. Yes, we might go for a bigger piece on here for sure. Yeah, I think we can go for a 6x6 if we can find one. That's a 4x4 as opposed to a 4x2. Possibly the best value in the graveyard this morning. Meantime, testing the old faithful bread knife, and it does a great job. Just did it on that corner just to see what that would, yeah, whether it would work. And it will. I suppose I better cut the proper seat now. Well, it's a tough old loaf, and didn't quite cut to the line I wanted, but actually here it is in position, and it's not bad. It's not bad at all. So I'm going to round off those corners somehow, probably with a cheese grater, and well, that one's kind of already rounded off. So far I am loving the Suzuki project, and it kind of just goes in line with what everyone tells you on these kind of programs, that buy a decent running bike, pay a little more for it if necessary, and keep it simple. So it's a good old air-cooled pre-ECU kind of model, and yeah, so it's just everything's sailing along quite nicely. Well-maintained bike so far. Obviously that's a kiss of death, but I'm loving this project. I would say it's coming together rather nicely. How about that? Yeah. So again, I started hacking at this with a hacksaw, and then like, oh yeah, I remember. It's a lot easier with Mr. Kawasaki. I always start off with the notion that I can't be bothered to get it out the drawer, plug it in, turn the electric on, and I was really, by the time you've done that, you haven't even started hacksawing it. So, power tools are king. So, there we have it. Something just like that. Yes. One super cool Perspex brake light mount. Let me just tidy that up a little bit. Tidied that rough edge up, as I said, with the cheese grater. No, I wasn't kidding. Kind of, but I mean, this is what I was talking about. So I actually bought this when I had that little Fiat 124 convertible, lovely little car. And yes, I bought this because I had very rough feet at the time. No, I bought it because the dashboard had completely cracked up, as is common with cars in this area. Especially cars of that era that aren't kind of designed to deal with 120 degrees of heat. And it's a marvellous little tool for roughing up foam or smoothing down foam. Yeah, so there you go. Well, I can't remember how much I paid for it, and it's a Stanley, obviously. Can you see that? Yeah. Makes a bloody mess, mind you. Oh wait, that was me. I made the mess. Loving my bracket. We've even got possibility of angulation. Yes, we can angle it however we like. Once the seat is in place, we can work out whether we want it to run level like that or run to the line of the seat, something like that probably. So that'll be fun. Cool, whatever. I was mixed up between fun and cool. Either way. Yes, and back to the airbox. I just don't know what to do about this. I need to investigate further where it kind of, how the hell I get it out, and if it's even worth it. Maybe I just replace the filter because it looks like it needs replacing. But like I said, it runs beautifully as is. Perhaps I shouldn't mess about with it. And I've worked out what I'm going to do with these. Yeah, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to do exactly the same as I did before, except I've got some really cool exhaust wrap coming. Yes, check out the intro graphics to this episode. We have red wrap on its way. It's a Fender Bo Diddley, Puff Diddley 50, whatever. Newfangled young people's popular music. So my seat chop has, or my cushion chop has revealed another problem. Yes, those bloody 8 grade 8 bolts, holes, things. Yes. So I can either fill it with a grommet, which would be kind of lazy and look a bit shit, or I'm going to have to fill it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do, isn't it? I have to fill it and build it up. Oh, jeez. Nightmare. Well, I guess there's more work to do on finishing this off anyway to make it look really nice. And I am going to have to get that bloody Dremel out. It's so tedious, but yeah. I am going to have to just finish this off nicely and gently once I've filled it. Well, I am convinced this is all going to look very cool with the LED perspex thing in the back. Light, that's the word I'm looking for. And the tank and everything and the paint choice, and I'm still not sure of the design, but it's going to involve big numbers or letters. And no I on the tank. No, Susie is going to reside on the back here, as per instruction or guidance or suggestion by my good friend Lee. So thanks, Lee. Great idea. I best get on sticker wrap right now and order my stickers. Apparently we have a clean whiteboard, clean of ideas and notes, apart from the R6, obviously. And on that note, I think we'll call it a day. And as usual, thanks for watching. Do subscribe if you haven't already. And encourage others to watch my lunacy.